self-storage owner or operator looking for service providers to help at your facility? Well, the Storage Business Owners Alliance, also known as the SBOA, has you covered. The SBOA is the premier online hub for connecting self-storage owners and operators to industry-leading products and service providers. We provide one-stop shopping for your business with exclusive offers to save time and money. At the SBOA, we believe by coming together, we help owners and operators grow revenue, gain purchasing power, reduce expenses, improve efficiencies, and increase profitability. We also offer many resources such as our conferences and self-storage unlock webinars to help self-storage owners and operators gain the knowledge needed to become more competitive in the industry. To become an SBOA member or to find out more information, please visit www.thesboa.com today. We can't wait for you to join the Alliance.
Are you attending SSA Orlando? Well, save the date. Thursday, March 13th, join the SBOA team for our exclusive VIP member party, Dinner with the Sharks at SeaWorld. Network, dine, and win prizes with your industry peers. Gifts throughout the evening are provided by Mercantile Systems, Inc. Don't miss this fun and unique networking and dining experience. But remember, you must be an SBOA VIP member to get an invitation. And if you're not a VIP member yet, you can become one today for 50% off. Simply go to thesboa.com/membership and use promo code WeLoveSelfStorage when you register for the annual membership. See you there.
Hi, StorageDefender is the pioneer and leader of providing smart units as a service. We provide tenants peace of mind over their valuables and facilities, more profit per unit. Our smart unit service is very easy to install for our facilities. Tenants of all ages love it because there's no app required. StorageDefender sends a simple text message whenever it sees motion to the tenants. We offer our partners a pay-as-you-grow service model and a complete marketing package to help them maximize their revenue. Reach out to us. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone in self-storage land. How are you today? We're so happy to have you here for our special Self-Storage Unlocked Family Feud edition. I'm Iris Segan, president of the SBOA, also known as the Storage Business Owners Alliance. And today's webinar is designed to help you get ready for the upcoming busiest season of the year with the top 10 tips from our panel of industry experts. Before I get started, I do want to give you a few quick reminders. One is, if you have questions, please drop them in the chat. I see plenty of you are already in there telling us who you are, where you're from. Thank you. We love to hear from you. And we will answer as many of your questions as we can live. Any remaining questions will be addressed afterwards via email. We also really want to encourage you to participate in our live polls throughout the webinar. We only have 3 or 4, and it helps us get to know you better, gives us insights, helps us guide the discussion. And just to give you a little bit of extra encouragement, we are giving away a $25 Starbucks gift card today for the most active audience member, so don't be shy. Also, everyone who is registered today, you will get a link for the replay. So as a special for today's Family Feud edition, we are sending out a downloadable peak season playbook for all of our registrants. You'll get that in your inbox next week. So watch your email for all of those follow-ups. And I want to go ahead and get started because we have a lot to cover today. So first, I am going to bring up Stephanie Williams. Hi, Stephanie. How are you today?
Hello. Good. How are you?
Good. Please tell everybody in our audience a little bit about you and what you do with SecureSpace self-storage.
Perfect. Well, I'm Stephanie Quilliams. I started in the industry in 2006, so I feel like it's been my my entire adult life. And then I started in the learning and development era in about 2010. So I've been dealing with people and processes, which is my main passion. And then I'm with SecureSpace Self-Storage, and I oversee the learning and development. So I get to do what I love every single day.
Awesome. Well, that's fantastic. It's so nice to have you here. This is, I believe, the first time we've had you on Self Storage Unlocked. So thank you for joining us. And we're really excited to get your insight. We'll see you in just a couple of seconds. And next, I'm going to bring up Andrew. Andrew, I did not ask you how to pronounce your last name. Help me,
I was
please.
going to let you do it too. I was just going to let you try it.
Al?
My name is Andrew Ah. I am the Vice President of Operations for Atomic Storage Group. I've been in the industry for about 13 years now. Started as a property manager, district manager, revenue manager, and now I oversee operations for the Atomic Storage Group.
Great. And tell everyone in our audience, in case they don't know, what does Atomic Storage Group do?
We do third-party management. We specialize in like remote facility operations to help with payroll expenses and stuff like that. So we have in-house call center, in-house marketing team, stuff like that. One-stop shop. So we're now 130 sites strong, 28 different states. So we're growing.
That's fantastic. Well, obviously, you're going to have a lot of insights in today's conversation as well. So we will see you back in a couple of minutes after I bring up the rest of our guests.
Sounds good.
And next up, I have Amir Caballero. How are you, Amir?
I'm doing good. Thank you, Iris. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. It's been a little while since we've seen you on Self Storage Unlocked. It's great to see you here today.
Thank you.
For those in our audience who don't know who you are and what you do, please tell us about you and G5.
Of course. So my name is Amir Caballero. I've been with G5 now going on 4 years. I've been within the industry itself for over 12 years. So I've worked with a lot of operators, small mom and pop shops, larger operators, and just everyone in between, just kind of getting them ramped up, getting them started, and just more importantly, really helping them understand how to improve their business overall. And at G5, we do websites, we do digital marketing, and look at the entire digital landscape of for an operator.
All right, awesome. Well, we have one more speaker to bring up, and we'll see you back in a moment.
Thank you.
Hi, Brooke. How are you today? This is Brooke Land, the marketing specialist from StorageDefender. StorageDefender got us really going today with the whole peak season playbook, the family feud. You guys have really helped us out with the cat. And we love cats and dogs. So please tell us a little bit about you and your experience in self-storage, and tell everyone about StorageDefender.
Yeah, absolutely. So Mark Cieri, our CEO, will be joining us shortly. I believe he got stuck in a meeting, but I'm Brooke, marketing specialist here at StorageDefender. Have been with the company about 2 years. Have loved it every step of the way. But what we do is smart unit and smart zone technology. So we connect tenants to their valuables and also help owners and operators earn more revenue off of each unit and also have more visibility across your whole facility as a whole. So thanks for having me, Iris.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I'm going to bring everyone back up onto the stage. There we go. And we'll kind of get started a little bit here. We can start with our first, well, maybe a little bit about the state of the industry. Do you want to speak to that a little bit, Brooke?
Yeah, so as you guys all know, it's February, we're about to get into March, which means peak season is approaching and it's approaching fast. So today we've gathered an awesome group of panelists to give you guys some top tips to prepare for this peak season. So with that, let me go ahead and ask our first question, or let me go ahead and pull up our slides actually. Sorry guys, I'm not used to being on a webinar.
I've seen you on other webinars. You do great.
That's true. Yeah. Iris, it's not letting me share slides for some reason.
Oh, let me bring it up for you. I'm so sorry. Here we go.
Okay. All right, guys. So today we're going to present our peak season playbook with 10 strategies for self-storage success. So as you guys know, we have our panelists We have Mark, who's going to handle the technology side once he hops on. Stephanie is going to handle more of the training aspect of it. Andrew also has a ton of revenue management experience, and he's also the operations aspect of it. And of course, we have Amir, who's going to bring in that digital marketing aspect of it for our preparation. So, guys, we will have 10 top tips revealed by the end of this Family Feud size segment. Doesn't this look great? And so, with that, in the comments, go ahead and drop. Let me know what you think is the number one thing that you should do first in order for prep for that peak season. Go ahead and throw it in the comments, guys.
And while they're doing that, look who's here.
Oh, thank you.
Mark Cieri, how are you today? Doing okay?
No, I obviously thought it was at 11 Central, not 11 Eastern. So that is pretty funny because I was talking to everybody. So wonderful. Excellent. Well, you are in great hands with Brooke and the rest of the team. So great.
Okay, Mark, we are about to reveal our number one tip that you should do in order to prep for peak season. In the comments, a lot of people are saying marketing. So, Mark, are you ready to reveal the topic?
Sure. Yes, folks. Obviously, you heard a good build up, and we know we're going into the peak season, and it's time to really get yourself in direction and make sure that you are aware of assessing your competitors and activities. So, Andrew, why don't you go ahead and comment on that?
For the competition in the area, the main thing you're going to want to look at is the market itself, because everybody's moving so quickly right now, faster than they have in a long time, because we're not spoiled like we were during the COVID season. So with everybody moving rates and promos around so much faster during the week now, it's really, really important to see what your neighbors are doing and what's going on around you.
What are your thoughts there, Amir?
First off, I want to congratulate Meg. She got it. She got the number one answer. So I guess send her virtual applause or some thumbs up. But yeah, just to kind of get back on the topic there, Mark, to answer your point, that number one option, right? You definitely want to see what that user experience is like for your competitors, get a good understanding of what that checkout process is on their websites, get a good understanding if that competitor website is truly outlining and showing the benefits of what they offer, and then compare it to your website, right? Really get a good understanding, a good feel for your website, understanding where your call to actions are, what loads up first, and get a good understanding of what really makes a difference between you and your competition around you.
Stephanie, what are your thoughts on competition and the importance in getting ready for the peak season?
Yeah, definitely. So I think from a manager's perspective, the managers need to get out and see the competitors too. Because think about it, they're your first line of sales when customers come into the facility. They need to know what they're competing against as well. What features does that neighbor property have? What negatives does that neighbor property have? What does their pricing strategy look like? So making sure our managers are our partners in all of this too will really set the facility up for success.
Yeah, and I mean, in this market, this is not something to be taken lightly. There is obviously less demand in most markets. And so every single opportunity matters. And obviously knowing what your competition is doing, frankly, trying to steal that conversion, steal that tenant is key. So really having a good sense on that is going to set your North Star for everything else we're about to talk to. And so with that, guys, let us go to number 2. Ding, updating market campaigns, right? So go ahead. Why don't you take it, Amir?
Yeah, so when it comes to marketing, right, it's one of the most vitally important things when it comes to showcasing your property and what you have to offer online. I always let a lot of operators know if they're handling things themselves, go for the lowest hanging fruit, right? And what I mean by that is the things that you could check off that checklist yourself. One of them starting off with SEO, right? Really understanding what your SEO strategy is, what those keywords that you're incorporating into your SEO strategy, and getting a good understanding of how you're building your website with that SEO optimization strategy altogether. The second thing that you want to look at is going to be your Google business profile, right? Your GBP, really getting a good acclimation of what that GBP optimization looks like, ensuring that the information on there is accurate, right? Ensuring that your pictures on that Google Business profile are clear, your signage is clear, people get a good understanding of where the entrance of your property is. And then most importantly on that Google Business profile is responding to those reviews, ensuring that you're interacting with those reviews, both good and bad, that are left on that Google Business profile, and just making sure you're keeping up to date, because Google sees that as a positive if you're keeping up with that, or a negative if you're not, and you're just kind of letting those reviews pile up on that end.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Stephanie, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, one of our stores, we really focus on Google reviews and doing just that. And we actually were able to reduce marketing spend substantially by making sure we were getting great reviews often, and having them, mention the manager's name and like good, solid reviews. So we actually saw an ROI on that just from our managers getting those Google reviews.
Yeah. Andrew?
Yeah, much to what they're saying, everything is important that's coming through there. But I think as you're looking at operations, you also have to make sure everything is trackable. So if you're doing multiple things, if you're working through Google, Sparefoot, whatever you're using, make sure you're tracking the length of the stay for all of those, and make sure you know how much money you're dedicating to all those, because you could be able to push more money into one aspect that's actually proven to be more successful for your site.
Yeah, that's big. That's big. Hey, Andrew, what percentage of your tenants are you seeing across Atomic Storage are renting online? Like, we're sitting here talking about the importance, and Stephanie, I don't know if you have any data, and Amir, I'll ask you obviously from your website experience, but Andrew, from your perspective, what percentage of tenants are renting online?
I would say about 60% of what we get comes in through online traffic, either if it's coming in through online rentals and reservations, or if it's coming through people finding the Google business page and clicking through that to get to our call center. The website and the Google stuff is a big part of what drives that into us.
Okay. And Amir, can you give your perspective from the digital side once again?
Yeah, of course. From the digital side, what we're seeing on our end is about a 23% conversion coming from digital advertising altogether, right? So we're talking about Google ads, social ads, and utilizing that Google Display Network, which again, this really entails and focuses a lot of the drive for people that are looking with that intention of renting a specific unit, and then driving that traffic to your website so they could convert easily from there.
Got it. And what about you? Any thoughts, Stephanie?
I don't have any data to share with that one. I'm sorry.
Okay, so I mean, here's the thing, right? If your website's not working for you, you must re-examine making some improvements. And frankly, folks, again, we're trying to drop very practical tips. You might want to consider another web provider, get something working harder for you. By the way, as obviously I wasn't at the beginning, and I apologize for that. One of the things in this session is we're hitting 10 really quick. The goal here is try to find one tip. If you're a mom and pop out there, right? Try to find one tip that you want to go deeper. And none of these are going to be deep enough to, give you 100% of your answer. But if it sounds like something you're not doing or you should, pick one thing out of this, and we'll be asking you at the end, and maybe even giving out some little awards for that. But if there's anything that you want more detail on, I can tell you right now, we picked all the panelists because of their functional expertise. Amir is a digital expert. Stephanie is a training expert, and Andrew is an operational expert. And all these people like to share their inputs with you. So again, find a tip. If you have a question, even after, reach out. So with that, let's go to number 3. And I don't think we have a drum roll for some reason. Do we have a drum roll? No.
We do not have a drum roll.
All right. Does
But
anything?
I do.
All right. We'll do
Go
the
ahead.
bing, right? Good. Hit it. Bing.
Ding.
All right. Audit your curb appeal and conditions, right? So we talked about the digital storefront. That's your homepage. That's your digital
home front, your home page, and how your website looks, and frankly, your digital shelf and even your digital checkout counter. Okay. But now we're looking at facility curb appeal and also the conditions of the facility. Look, if you're driving by your facility and it don't look good, they might just keep driving down the road. Andrew, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, operationally, it's one thing we do have managers do is drive to competitors and see what we're up against. So we go from the inside out. We make sure our landscaping's done, our signs are working good and stuff like that. But we will also drive through competitors during the day, at nighttime, make sure your lights are working, see if the signs are working, see if your banners are old. If it doesn't look like it's taken care of on the outside, it's not too hard to think that it wouldn't be taken care of on the inside as well if anybody's pulling up out front.
So it does matter, right? Like we can
It's
do
huge.
as much as we want on our website, but it does matter. Stephanie, your thoughts, and I know you come at it from a training perspective. So getting ready for the peak season, what kind of thoughts do you have and what do you share with your teams?
Absolutely. So when we're training our store teams, we remind them that a lot of your community members that are storing with you are storing literally everything they own. It is their livelihoods, their precious moments that have been passed down, sometimes generations to generations. They want to know when they're walking into your facility that you care so much about them being there that you're willing to go that extra mile and keep your facility clean so that it keeps their belongings safe. So we really focus on that with our store teams, putting that why behind why we keep our facilities clean. And it's really for the customer to make sure that their goods are protected from top to bottom, inside out.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, even with us at StorageDefender, we provide banners, as you know, we provide banners that talk to the facility having smart units. Again, it's something that front of that building is your billboard, right? Whether you have a billboard or not, do you have a good looking billboard when someone drives by and looks at the front facing side of your facility and your perimeter and your lighting? Amir, speaking of that, I think you have a thought on curb appeal as well.
Yeah, yes. I mean, great points from Stephanie and from Andrew. I definitely want to focus on the digital curve appeal as well, because I've worked with a lot of operators that are transitioning websites, and on their current website, they'll have either very blurry pictures or pictures that you really can't make out what it is at the actual property or facility. And I've even seen some other websites where they have, red storage doors, and then when someone gets to the property, it's like, wait, where are the red storage doors? There's only gray or blue, right? You really want to make sure that those are consistent with what you actually have at your property. So like that when people are trying to search for you and trying to look for you online, and then they get to your physical property, they could really understand, okay, I'm at the right spot. I don't have to question anything here.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. I also want to add, doing mystery shopping program, doing a audit program can help you evaluate your facilities and your curb appeal from a customer's point of view. So you can get a different point of view when you find out what the customers actually think when they pull up, when they drive by. And if you pair that with a internal audit that helps operators identify, any areas for improvement, ensuring that everything from signage to cleanliness and staff interactions meets the standards that you have set. And before we move on to the next one, we have a whole bunch of questions coming in here. So I want to get some of those up. We'll start with Gary. Gary asked, what are the metrics of managing a website? How do I measure it? I think Amir could speak to that a little bit. That was our number 2, kind of skipped over that one.
Yeah, that's fine. So, I mean, that's a great question, right? If you're doing things yourself, you definitely want to make sure you're utilizing Google tracking codes, really ensuring where that traffic is coming from. And then aside from that, really adding those conversion tracking as well on those call to actions within your website. If you're utilizing a website provider, that website provider should have all these tracking metrics for you, and then they should provide you with reporting to show you what is converting, what's working, what's not working, and then make those adjustments as needed as well.
Yeah, and I saw along the lines of metrics, I saw Jim Mooney and I saw some others put up that 80% of rentals are online, right? I don't care if it's 60, 80, it's a high percentage if you're running your business right, especially in certain markets. And what we like to say is make sure that whether it's your website or the front of your building, you make sure that you're addressing the 3 key points: price, location, and peace of mind, right? Those are always going to be the top three most of the time. And are you talking that language on your website? Are you talking that language even on the front of the building? Was there one other question that I saw, Iris?
Yep. Megan asked, you just mentioned pricing. How do you tell if your pricing is too high?
Let's hand that over to Andrew. Andrew, when you're looking at pricings and comparables in the area, kind of what standards, and again, we got to be a little careful in talking pricing strategies, but just some general comments on that.
So looking at like what the competitors are doing, and if you see competitors around you that are full, obviously that gives you a little more fluctuation there. But I think the goal is to actually move the bottom line of the facility, right? So look at your average rate, look at what you're asking for the street level, and just start kind of finding that sweet spot in between that range there to where you start moving your bottom line without having to give up too much on the end, and take into account your promotions and see what your promotions are doing as far as that goes too. I'd much rather give a promo than drop a rate because I can rent increase off a higher rate later.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we're going to get into that a little bit more potentially as we look through some of the other top 10 answers. Let's go ahead and move to number 4. May we have number 4? Bing, staff training and scheduling. Which expert on the panel should open with this?
I love it. I love it. This is my favorite topic. So move aside rental season, just training in general. So you look at who is our employee right now, and really it's the millennial generation. So they are majority of our workforce, and data tells us that they actually appreciate training the most. It makes them satisfied. It makes them feel confident. It makes them appreciate the organization in general. They're going to do more. They're going to be more engaged. When your employees are more engaged, your business benefits. So training just in general. Now let's look at training for the busy season. We're coming off this off season, right? It takes a different type of management to manage in an off-season slow, we don't have the hustle and bustle. We need to make sure that our managers are confident and prepared for the upcoming busy season. So we should be focused on time management. We should be focused on teaching them about cleanliness and about general repairs that should be happening on the property to keep your asset protected during this busy season. And then, of course, the main thing we should be focusing on is sales strategy, teaching them how to get the sale, how to assume the sale. That is what's going to close those deals in this busy season and really give you the biggest bang for your buck. And it's all starts right now. You guys got about like a month. Easy peasy stuff to do today.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing is this, like, if you're managing multiple locations, big enough, you might have a trainer. But if you're a mom and pop, if you have one location, there's resources out there. There are companies in our industry that offer skill set training. SBOA has storage for rookies. There's other consultants that actually will consult with you. I think some of them are on here now. So don't wait, because bottom line is, as we head into the peak season, there is less demand out there. You got to make sure they're coming to your store. And when they come in the store, Stephanie, we better make sure we convert them, right?
Absolutely.
Because it's precious. So, Andrew, what are your thoughts on this? Obviously, you've got a large enterprise of properties that you manage. How key is this for you guys?
Yeah, well, it's what you said is exactly right. And we all know, being in the industry, that there's not really a slow season if you work in it, right? Like you're either working on the business in the winter, but you're in the business in the summer, right? You're moving so fast, you've just got to get through everything. So make sure that they shake off the rust when they get into the busy season. Get your secret shops going. I know Iris mentioned their program, but it's much better to secret shop your sites and know what's going on rather than have to read about it in a bad Google review.
Yeah, and I mean, just to follow on Andrew's, and there's been a number of questions on Secret Shop. SBOA has a Secret Shop, and there's others as well. Andrew, so we got the one which is like sharpening the sword with your managers, but then in the markets that we're in, you got still a lot of employee turnover. How do you train fast and get them productive fast, especially again heading into the busy season?
Well, building internal training programs and having people kind of like Stephanie who are going to be there who really like doing that stuff to sit there with them and walk through that and show them the why and not just what we're doing, but why they have to do it, why it's important to return those phone calls, answer those emails in a timely manner. Because if they're looking at your storage, they're also looking at everyone else in the area.
Got it. All right. I'm going to ask the community now. Before we bring up the next one, I want to see how many of you can type in Bing, because for whatever reason, we don't have the Bing noise on our thing. So if when we see a Bing comment come in, we'll go to number 5. Anyone out there? Come on. We're going to sit here until we see a Bing. Thank you.
Me.
Thank you.
20 bings came in at once.
Yeah, everybody's ready.
By
I
the
wish
way,
everyone
that's
could
a
shout it.
trivia
I wish we
question.
could hear them.
That's a trivia question for the community. Does everyone remember what Bing was?
Yeah.
I don't know that people are using Bing for searches anymore. Are they, Amir?
My grandparents still use Bing for searches, so
That's adorable. That's adorable.
And AOL.
All right.
yeah.
So obviously at StorageDefender, we love number 5, right? And by the way, upgrading and modernizing facility technology or features, enhancing security, doesn't always have to be super expensive. We're talking on pragmatic things that we can do on tech that impact, say, tenant experience, attract tenants, maybe improve your operations, hopefully both. Andrew, go ahead, get us started on some of these modernizations, features, tech, security things that you guys would look at going into the high season.
The number one thing we look at is, like Amir was talking about earlier, like your website. Get your website working, get it to where you can get online rentals. If we pull up a competitor and they've got a reservation form that says call us for details, that's just not something people want to do anymore. I mean, we live in a day and age now where DoorDash will leave me food at the door. I don't have to have any human interaction. And I think people enjoy that sometimes. So we do see an uptick from that. But we do use the StorageDefender. I know Mark helped us at one of our facilities with a lot of overnight activity and ended up reducing it by like 95% just by installing those, because you're also allowing the tenant to have the ability to protect their own unit as well. So there's more communication between the site manager and the property itself, or when we're overseeing it, to say like, okay, everybody's got eyes on this now, and it was a problem we were able to handle together.
No, that's an excellent update. Stephanie, why don't you go ahead and continue on what tech upgrades you'd recommend?
Yeah, we use StorageDefender at some of our properties as well, and we've found that partnering with StorageDefender and then the customer itself, we're able to enhance that security, and not, we're still earning revenue on that as well. Plus, we recognize that adding cameras to an already existing facility, that is a substantial business expense. That's not even something that all of us can do at our properties. So having something like StorageDefender, being able to boost that security piece for not in a substantial cost is super helpful. And then when it comes to the online rentals, having something like ID verification, an additional security checkpoint. It's a third-party service that you can get, and it just double checks your customer base that's coming in to make sure they are who they say they are. And so that has been a pretty big thing for us to increase security without us having to do anything.
Excellent. Yeah, and I mean, the nice thing about tech, right? I was just thinking of like the SSA demand study. What I want to add is in the 2023 demand study, guys, that's 2 years 2 years ago. It's amazing. We'll see the next demand study in just about a year. That's how fast things are going. 25,000 people surveyed. The 2 fastest growing features that tenants will pay for are actually tech enabled. It's electronic gate access with increased access hours and inter-at unit monitoring, right? So those are survey results, and obviously that's what we're seeing. But here's the thing, tenants are willing to pay for them. And so we're going to have a section coming up that will talk about value-added services. Stay tuned for that. All right, let's go to the next one, guys. And because we don't have a Bing, I'm going to keep doing it. Can I get a Bing out there? By the way, for anyone that doesn't know Family Feud, you got to go watch the show. But as long as I might have to figure out how to do an X at one point. Yeah, when Amir, you talk next, I might have to come up with the big X. Hey, if we don't agree with them, let's all go like this, right?
Yeah.
All right. So let's bring up the next one. Thank you, guys. The next one we want to talk about is revenue management and even rate increase strategies. Again, we got to be careful as we talk about this. I did see some questions about how high the rates and how do you know? Amir, get us going on that.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, rate increases and just revenue management is always one of those topics that you really got to be mindful of how you do things, right? What I always let a lot of operators know is it's always better to do a smaller increase for those tenants that have been there and potentially need it, rather than do a large increase for your, all the tenants that are renting, I should say, at that particular property, because that is going to affect your occupancy as a whole. Right. So you really want to be mindful of how you're doing these increases and how often, because as we're seeing in the market, right, these REITs right now will get people in the door for $1, $2, and then within 3 months, they're shooting that rental rate, 100% back up to, $50 when they were coming into the door at $1. So you really have to be mindful how you do these rate increases and have a really good strategy once you start to implement them.
Yeah, that's good, Andrew. I'm sure within your operations organization, you're responsible for revenue management. Maybe you could add a couple comments on that.
Yeah, so one of the things that we look at for like street rates and stuff is it's easy to pull your moving report and see what you're moving, but you also got to look at what's not there and why it's not there. So why are you not running 5x10s? Why you're not running the 10x15s? Is the market full? Is there someone offering a special in a certain unit group that you're not noticing? And then with rate increases, it becomes a play to the season, really. Like try to push those in the summer. It seems to be the busiest season. So to backfill whatever you decide to lose. So when you try to push for revenue, the best time to do it is when you can replace it with a good street rate as well.
Okay. Any other thoughts on that? I know there was a lot of questions on that. I mean, here's the deal, folks. This is SBOA, right? We have a big community, a diverse community, but we again have a lot of the mom and pops on this call. And some of you might be facing what's being common these days among the REITs is teaser rates, right, Andrew? Teaser rates, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty treacherous, right? Andrew, why don't you just describe for the team what a teaser rate is? And frankly, what kind of opportunities there are to combat that. And it's very difficult.
So teaser rates are tough because teaser rates are basically you set a high price for a unit and then you just promo it down for like a 3-month span to a really low price to whatever's in the area. And then whenever someone moves, they stay their 3-month stay, that promo drops off and you become at that rate. So it's kind of a way to get people in there at a certain rate. It's a teaser, right? It's going to expire and you're going to end up at a higher rate after that. And then they'll fall right into your rate increase cadence from there. I know there's a lot of REITs that are famous for that and probably causing a little bit of havoc in some of the markets right now where that's around. But that's essentially what it is it's a double rate increase area.
So clearly trying to fight that battle that way is going to be very difficult. So doing some of these other promo strategies and some of these other things that we're talking about sharpening up the web, sharpening up curb appeal, and maybe some other things are going to be really important to combat that, because I mean, it's this high season, everyone's hoping. We don't know how big the spike's going to be, but we know that tactic's going to be used. Right?
It goes back a lot to what Amir said. Like you want to reduce friction as much as possible and get them to rent online any time of day they want to take it. You want them to take it. So you don't want them to have to fill out a form and wait for you to call them back in the morning. You want them to be able to decide, hey, I want this now, I need it now, and it'll be ready in the morning. So it creates a sense of urgency in that space.
So I see a question from Gary Peterson, like if the REITs are successful using this sort of teaser rate approach, why not follow? Gary, I don't know who you are, but having said that, hey, if you've got the cash to do what they're doing and you're going to deal with $1 a month for 5 months and then jack up their rates 40 to 60%, that's what I'm hearing. I don't know. Maybe that's a strategy that will work for you in your market. I don't know. Does anyone want to comment on that? I mean, we're not saying what to do and not to do. These are all your choices. That's what we're talking about, though.
It's just that, though. It's what you said. It's a strategy. It's not that it's going to work. It's not that it's necessarily successful for them. But one way to find out is to go into Sparefoot and see how much it costs to get up to the top of Sparefoot. If you're looking at paying 9-10 months rent, that's probably just another strategy one of the REITs is employing, because it's very expensive to go the other way. And it might be a little cheaper for them on that end, but it might cost you a lot more if you decide to go that route.
Yeah, and I see the question from Rolf regarding an industry standard of how often to increase. I'm going to suggest that we do not answer that question. We got to be really careful. That's getting a little bit specific. I think we can safely say you got to really understand your market. You have to have programs in place. But I don't know. I don't know that, Iris, I don't know that I feel comfortable giving guidance on a rate increase. I don't believe there are standards in our industry. Are there? Does anyone want to comment on that?
I personally don't think you should have a standard. I mean, you can have a cadence if you want, but I think when you're full, when you've got a lot of occupancy, that's the time to increase. When you've already sitting on it and you can see a better rate on the street, that's the time to start increasing.
Yeah, and I think that's really good. And I think I see a comment on the cruise industry. I think of the airlines industry, right? Obviously, when there's one last seat on a plane, the rates go up, right? And if it's quite empty, they're going out, and I'm getting emails from Southwest Spirit and anyone else, Frontier, and whoever else is trying to push me at ridiculous rates because it's better to fill the plane while it's flying than have a few people at a high rate. So I think those same practices definitely apply to us. Let's continue on to the next.
Okay, wait a second. I have a drum roll.
Oh, we got a drum roll. I'm not liking the drum roll. I like Bing better. But anyways, let's go to
Well, I have that too. So what do we got?
Do you have a Bing? All right, take it off. Let's try it again.
I was like Southwest.
Good.
All right,
Yeah.
so let's
Speaking
go
of
see what
airlines.
the answer is. Go. I'm not liking that. Steve Harvey wouldn't approve of that. All right. The next area that we want to cover is boosting revenue through value-added services, right? These are services, again, that can be brought into your facility that increase profitability and also drive facility differentiation. I mentioned before the two fastest growing features in the 2023 SSA demand study. By the way, that's a tip. If you're running a facility and you're looking for other ideas on where you might garner more profitability, that's a great report. It's like not expensive. Our industry sponsors it every 3 years. That's a tip for you guys as well. But anyways, they talked about higher value, things that consumers highly value for and will pay for. Things like temperature control. Believe it or not, does anyone know what the number one is on most of the polls? Does anyone know? I always get people on this. Pest control. Yeah, it's pest control. And drive up facilities. If they see a facility on one side of the street or the other, and one's got obvious pest control, tenants will pay for that. But you get into things like in-unit monitoring, you get access, gate access, humidity control. These are all things that tenants say they are willing to pay for in the study. Stephanie, go ahead and comment. Area of value-added services.
So I was just reading the article that Brooke had published today in the On the Move magazine. I don't know if it was published today, but recent issue. And one of the things that she put in that article was that Gen Z, you know, the folks who are entering the purchasing market, our students, you know, our young adults here, they're willing to pay for those smart units, the pest control, you know, the location, the longer gate access hours. So value adds right there that the incoming consumer is telling us they want to pay for. So I thought that was really interesting and very timely for that article as well. Another thing that, you know, we're super passionate about, and I know the REITs are as well, tenant protection. That is something that, you know, if you can have some offering some insurance at your property to cover your customers' goods, that value add right there, that is very important to your customer base. That's a really good one. And then, of course, we were talking earlier about StorageDefender. That's one that's an easy sell. And I was reading through the chat there, and I saw someone say that they're more likely to rent again with that type of smart unit. So you're getting that return customer looking for that value add again. So that's a really important piece as well.
Those are some great points. And what I want to emphasize on what you said, again, we're here trying to give you guys tips. Most, and I know a lot of the people in the community, like guys like Jim's going to know what I'm going to say here. And that is, when you come to tenant insurance or protection, I don't care if you go A or B, but if you're not taking advantage of what our industry has organized, and that is that the ability to mandate requirement of coverage, whether it is what you offer or them having to present homeowners insurance, that is a way to better provide a better experience for your tenant who, if they have loss, they've got coverage, and it's also a revenue opportunity, right? And so it still blows my mind, Andrew. I can go to these conferences and I'm talking to people who are like, yeah, we offer it, but I'm like, but what? But what? Like, why aren't, like, everyone else is doing it who's following best practices, right? So Andrew, any further thoughts on value added services from you?
Well, a lot of it is, like Stephanie said, we use the StorageDefender. We have great success with that. We've had people come back because they want to use that particular app again and get that stuff on their phone. The tenant protection has been huge for us too, just because we can require that. And it saves you a lot of headache too, because there's someone there designated to take care of that when that comes up. It's not something you have to deal with in-house or process that internally either. So there's a lot of different things like that, but those would be the two biggest ones we take advantage of pretty much everywhere.
Got you. Amir, why don't you jump into how value-based pricing is working? Because first of all, explain to people what it is, and if they have it, kind of how you're seeing it evolve and how people are using it. Because again, you can drive the value-added services through that.
Yeah, of course. So to Stephanie's point earlier, how she mentioned a lot of the newer generations, they're the ones that's now starting to get into the shopping of things. So as an operator, if you could offer someone, hey, a 5x5 for $50 and you get, 9 to 5 access hours and that's about it. But now you give them the option to, hey, if you want to upgrade, still the same 5x5, but now it's $55 and you get 24-hour access to that facility. Now you have that person rather think is okay. Is it worth it to just pay $5 more where I can now go in and access my unit at any given point in time? And obviously, you have that top tier where now you say, hey, still the same 5x5, but now you get 24-hour access to the facility and a storage defenders as an example, right? For only $65. And now that you have to think, you know what? Maybe it is worth it for me to just pay an additional $10 to get these additional services for the same unit that I was going to rent anyways, right? So that's what we talk about value-based pricing, but then also having that value-added services to really couple within your operation to now set you apart from your competitors around you.
It's also a great way of dealing with some of this teaser rate stuff, right?
Yes.
So now all of a sudden you see your street rate is low, and then you're offering value. You have a cleaner unit listing page, right, Amir? You can be as aggressive. I can't remember what the person's name was. Was it Patrick? I don't remember the individual's name, but you can go low on your street rate, but then sell them on value when you come in, just like many other industries. By the way, one of the other things that I'm seeing there is interactive seat maps. Not seat maps. Seat maps is what the airlines does, so that if we pick a seat, we pay more. We're starting to see on that premium tier an interactive facility map where people can actually pick their unit and they pay a little more. I think we're seeing that too. So I think this year, it started last year, I think we're seeing a pretty big migration, Amir, to value-based pricing.
Oh, yes. Yeah. If you're not currently using value-based pricing, that's something I would highly recommend to look into in the near future, because that's a lot of the times where operators are making more money is with those value-added services.
Yeah, and I mean, again, you got a month and a half, and if your website doesn't have it and it's not working for you, or you're paying, $10 or $20 a month and it's working okay, and you want to take things to the next level, you might want to go up and get a more sophisticated website that has there's plenty of good choices out there. All right. I do see a comment from was it Patrick about, will security end up diminishing your insurance because you have more security? We don't see that. We see it's a 1 + 1 is 2. I mean, I think about it at my home, right? I have a Ring doorbell, but I don't lower my insurance on the property. I want both. I want increased peace of mind. Are any of you, Andrew, are you seeing on properties that you have increased security, people buying lower insurance?
No, but in places where there are claims and stuff, it serves to help you when you're getting through the underwriter to have all those things, to have the security cameras and all those things that you can show you're helping protect your property too, and you're not just relying on insurance. So it's a value add, like you said.
Okay, excellent point. And you can lower your losses too, for those of you that get to share in the profit in your insurance plans. All right, let's go Let's have a drum roll, and if the community can do Bing too, because I miss Bing. I want to hear the Bing. Come on, I need a Bing first. Anybody? Come on. All right. Well, we'll have to go anyhow. The next one is leveraging a call center. Super important, Andrew, especially in your model and as you're seeing things. Why don't you go ahead and talk about why that could be important?
Oh, it's extremely important because even the sites that are manned, we use them to back up the manager when they're out or when they step out in the property or there's somebody's out sick. So call center is huge. We're able to roll those calls to somebody if somebody's not available to answer. And we have great people running our call center. I'm not saying that just because they're probably on here, but also because they're really good with tracking their key performance indicators too. And they're able to communicate with me and the rest of operations to say like, hey, we're not getting calls from this space. We're not getting these emails. And that helps us when we're deciding where to put money as far as advertising as well. If we're not getting traffic from this, there's no point to keep feeding it.
Yeah, and Stephanie, I know you have a pretty strong opinion on this too.
I do. I love our call center. So it's a huge partner for us. And then when you take a look from a training perspective, we talked about sales training before. You think about your managers, what hats they wear as managers. You know, we have them tasked to go tour their local competitor. We have them tasked with going and making sure our properties are clean. Now we're asking them to sell in person. Now we're going to ask them to sell over the phone as well. That skill set is kind of stretched a little bit. But when you have a call center, all they do all day long is handle sales calls and close. That skill set is so concentrated. So the conversion rates on our call center are exceptional because that's all they do all day long is close the deal. So I'm a huge proponent of call centers. It's a great investment for your stores. And like Andrew was saying, they pick up where we left off. So if we can't answer the phone, and reach that customer, maybe we're not working that day or whatever, our offices are closed, they are there as a huge supplement for us. And I strongly encourage looking into a call center.
Yeah. And I mean, in the prep from this, I didn't ask you guys this, but like I heard anywhere from a couple numbers I heard were 60 to 80% online conversions. There's certainly large national operators I work with that are at 40% conversion with online. But what percentage of your business is actually closed through your call centers as opposed to coming to the counter on a completely online rental? Do you guys have numbers, or at least is it a significant percentage, Stephanie and Andrew?
I think very significant amount because I don't have a number to put on it, but they touch a lot of different points. Even if someone moves in online, they could call and they can close it out or give that last little piece to push it over the edge. So it is a huge amount and huge value they bring to the company.
So once again, I don't have a Stephanie. I'm a mom and pop, and I'm currently not using a third-party manager, but I want to do a better job working the phones. Maybe I own a place. I have someone that runs it for me. What's the recommendation there? Anyone have any recommendations? There's certainly third-party call centering services, right?
There are. Yes, there are that are run by storage professionals as well. So that is absolutely something you could do. Routing the calls to one person within your organization and kind of establish an in-house call center. There are tons of different resources out there that can scale according to size. So all those options are available.
A lot of the PMS systems have automation too you can set up. So make sure you're set up with leads and stuff that you can still text out, even from the manager or honestly from your phone when you're home if you're running it. So you have options as well in-house.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go to number 9 on the board. I want to hear some bings. Come on. Let's hear some bings in the drum roll and any other noises we can throw. Here we go. Maybe you don't want to bring on a third-party call center. Maybe it's about taking your game to the next level by getting your hands out of the pot and letting somebody who's really good at it do it from a third party. Andrew, as our resident expert on third-party management, maybe go ahead and share with folks why they might want to get out of the day-to-day and bring on somebody like you.
Well, I think a lot of people, when they look at it, when I talk to people at conferences, they almost feel kind of bad that they're asking, like they want to do this themselves. But you got to understand, it's not that system anymore. It's not set up the way it used to be. You're going against teams and departments and corporations and stuff like that. So I will say one of the biggest things I talk to with owners is don't look at these as expenses. Yeah, you have to pay for them, but when you have people like Stephanie, when you have people like Amir, what you're paying for is for all the stuff that we've already been through that we know works and what we know doesn't work. We're saving you that hassle and that stress from it. So we're not really an expense, we're an investment, because you will get a return on all of these. I have seen returns on StorageDefender. I've seen returns on training and staffing on how the conversion rates go up. I've seen improvements in the websites as far as conversions go, just because everything's run a little smoother. So even though it's an expense on the books, it's really an investment because you're getting a big return on what you put into it.
Yeah, and it's interesting because we have our trade show season coming up where all of us will be together in Orlando in just a couple weeks. And I will have at my booth, I don't know the number, 10 or 15 new owners will come, and they're building a property. They just, they're really early on, and they're asking about StorageDefender. And I'm like, no, you don't need to worry about StorageDefender. Are you self-managing? Yes. I'm like, can I just make a recommendation? Is it your first property? Yes. Look, I could sell you StorageDefender, but honestly, I would rather you go talk to somebody who's an expert on third-party management, at least for a year, build best practices, take advantage of their tech stack and all their knowledge, because it's probably the single biggest investment you've ever made. And so I think that, especially in markets where there's less demand and there's higher sensitivity to being operationally excellent, expecting that you're going to do it as good as someone that has 140 properties like Andrew, or well over 80 like Stephanie, and then the REITs in the thousands. I mean, hey, take the challenge, but you might want to think about this. I agree with what you said, Andrew.
I will say this too. I'll just throw this out there too, because one of the things that we offer is, like, if you Google Atomic, you're not going to pull up our sites. You're not going to see our stores. One of the things we offer is we let you keep your branding. You brand yourself. We're not on your webpage. We're not on any of that stuff. So you might think you're in an area that you're surrounded by mom and pops when you could be running against third-party management, because we're running your competitors.
Right. So some people think that third party means you got to go take an orange, a green, or whatever other color signs there are of the big guys and their brands. But there's different models out there, including, I know many of you have probably worked really hard and are very proud of your local brand. And what Andrew and others will do is say, you can keep that. We're just going to help you make more profit. And with that, let's go to number 10. And I want to get at least 5 bings before, maybe 10, before we get to that. 1. I like the extra G's, Brooke. That's good. Only 1. I don't know. Do we only have 1 person watching now? All right.
It was loading.
All right. Oh, we got some more bings. All right. The last one is important, and that is monitoring and adjusting for improvement, because we got to stay adaptable no matter what you pick. And we're going to do a little quiz question at the end here. It might not work the way you think. So, Andrew, share with us kind of both way you recommend in monitoring, but also maybe your final sort of tip.
So what I'm looking at is year-over-year numbers. I'm a number nerd. I'm a data nerd. I want to see what we did last February. And if I beat this February, then realistically, I'm going to have a better year if I beat them all the way down. So I'm always competing with last year's month. But tip-wise, I would say this is the perfect time to be doing your rent increases. We're getting into the busy season. This is the beginning of it. You're going to have time to backfill. I would start going for rates you want on your street levels right now.
Amir?
I would definitely say monitor your presence online. I mean, what's working, what's not working, and whatever is not working, definitely make those adjustments. If you're in a situation where you feel like you're overburdened or you don't know what you're doing, reach out to, like G5, like on your website side, or any other vendor that handles the websites. Reach out to them, because as Andrew alluded earlier, we're the experts in the space, and we're here to ensure that we're driving you and kind of moving you in that right direction to bring in more leads and bring in that occupancy up at your properties.
Excellent. And Stephanie?
Of course, all of those things, but you want to make sure you're tracking conversions too. So if we're sending all of this business to our stores, we have to make sure we're closing as well. So making sure that you're taking a look at those conversions, and however many people raise their hand and say, hey, I think I want to rent there, how many are you actually renting to? So if you do all those things, I think you're really going to see a successful rental season.
Wow.
Yeah, going back, we mentioned it earlier already, but monitoring your customer feedback and reviews, keeping an eye on that regularly. daily, really, just to make sure you're keeping on top of it. And I want to just throw this question out because that's related. Gary asked much earlier, Stephanie, if the property is remote managed, how do you get reviews?
Oh, that's a great question. And it doesn't matter if it's remote managed, reviews still matter. And if anything, they probably matter more because you don't have someone at your store, closing those walk-in deals. Phone calls, making those phone calls. Anybody who is renting online, we're calling them. You have the ability to text message as well, links right to the reviews. So that is available to you. And that's something super functional, easy, free to get those reviews for your stores.
Yeah, and I think someone asked Amir, he actually answered in the chat earlier to answer within 48 hours tops. 24 is better.
All right, folks. Well, we got 10 answers on the board, and SBOA and StorageDefender will give $10 each to the top 5 people that will take one of these as a tip and give it a shot. So if you go into the chat and you say, I'm going to try one thing, list it in there. The first 5 people that answer will get $10 each, gift card, email, probably Amazon. I'm making it up on the fly. I'm probably paying for it, but we really want you guys to hopefully welcome feedback too. This was an awesome session. These people are all your resources. Again, top 5 that have a tip of anything, Megan Graham added, onboarding online marketing, Nicole Underwood. There you go. Let's see, we got, I can't even read them in order. You're going to have to help me. All right, let's call out the first 5.
Update your marketing and curb appeal. Reputation companies tools like Storage Reach to help with your review gathering and answering. All kinds of things. Localized marketing. Gary has a great answer.
Yeah, who is this Gary guy? Gary. I don't know who Gary is, but Gary is very involved. Oh, great guy.
Fan here.
Gary, come up and take my hand at SSA.
Yeah, StorageDefender will be worth a try from Frank. Frank, you will not be disappointed.
There you go, Frank. All right, so I'm going to leave it to Iris. If you guys get mad because you think you won in the first 5, don't complain to me. Complain to Iris and SBOA.
That is
let's come back
info@sboa.aol.com. All complaints.
Hey, do this. Put us all on the screen. You can take the questions off.
Yeah.
Hey, we really appreciate everyone hanging in there. Hopefully you got something big. Look, we all put this together because the high season's coming, and we really don't want you to miss that opportunity. Any questions? I think you see Amir. I think on the end you'll be able to get us. I think, will you give our emails at the end if people have it, or they can reach out and get our emails?
We will send a follow-up with all the information. They'll get links for the replay. We're going to send everybody who registered a playbook, an actual playbook that sums up everything we talked about today. So everyone's going to have that to be able to download. And so there's going to be all kinds of resources that everyone's going to get if you registered. If you're just watching live on social media, contact us and we'll make sure you get the information too.
Awesome. Bye-bye, guys. Take care.
Awesome.
Take care, everybody.
Thank you all.
Everyone.
Thank you so much. And I'm just going to stay on for a couple of minutes and let everybody know we got some follow-up information for you. Things going on in the industry. As soon as I find my sheet. Here we go. Okay. So I mentioned that you will get an email follow-up. And if you haven't registered, just reach out to us, Iris at thesboa.com. I'll be happy to get you set up with all the information that we went over today. We'll get links for the replay. And I want to just talk about some upcoming events. We have SSA Orlando in 2 short weeks, March 12th through 14th. If you are in the industry and you haven't been to one of these shows, you don't want to miss it. There's so much. Everyone's talking about everything that's new. This is the first big show of the season. And we will be at booth 707. If you have questions, we'll be there March 12th and 13th for the trade show itself. And then there's more education throughout the show, of course, and on Friday the 14th. So we'd love to see you live at the show. If you're not going to the show, you can join us live. We're going to have a broadcast on the trade show floor Thursday, March 13th at 12 p.m. So please do join us. Aaliyah will put up the Eventbrite link in the comments for you if you want to join, and make sure you get those reminders. Also want to let you know we're going to be having a special dinner with the Sharks. You might have seen that if you were here for the preview at the beginning of the show. Dinner with the Sharks at SeaWorld. The only people who are going to get invited to this event are our special SBOA VIP members. That membership program is rolling out Monday, and special for you guys because you registered today and you're here, you stayed with us through this whole program. We're going to give you 50% off your annual membership if you enroll before March 1st. You can use promo code We Love Self Storage. Aaliyah will put the link in the chat where you can go and sign up. And just so you know what that includes, we're going to have free admission to SBOA summits. There will be an SBOA summit in June. That is going to be about buying self-storage. If you're new to the industry or you want some tips and tricks for that, we're going to have a whole day full of industry experts who will help you learn about buying self-storage. So you'll get a free ticket for that if you're a VIP member. Also, our tech summit in November, you'll get the free admission for that. You will also get, like I mentioned, the invitation for our dinners. We have become pretty well known for our exclusive dinners. They're a lot of fun. We've had them at the Mob Museum in Vegas, -5 Ice Bar. We had one at the Paris Eiffel Tower restaurant last fall in Las Vegas. And like I said, we will be at Dinner with the Sharks at the Sharks Grill in SeaWorld, right in there with the tank in front of us, with a great meal and prizes that we're going to be giving away from MSI, including some technology, some fun stuff. And, you know, you're going to have a great time. But you won't get an invitation if you are not a VIP SBOA member. So you will get that exclusive invitation. You'll get 10% off discount on all SBOA products. That does not include insurance. But we talked about mystery shopping and internal audit programs earlier. SBOA offers those. If you are a VIP member, you're going to get a 10% discount on those products. And you can contact me if you're interested in that. Mystery shopping, we will give you a free mystery shop so you can see what it's all about and what you get for that money. You're also going to get exclusive savings from all SBOA vendor partners. You won't get those anywhere else. So great deal, 50% off. If you get the annual membership today, it's normally $99.90. You'll pay $49.99 or $95, whatever that works out to be. And we would love to see you at our party. It's going to be a great time. And at this time, I'm going to bring up Aaliyah. She's going to announce our winner for our, hi, Aaliyah.
Hi, hello.
You guys have kept her busy today because she has been trying to who had the most questions and comments. And I don't know how you did it, Aaliyah. So who, wait, drum roll, since we got it. Drum roll. Oops, there it goes. Who was the winner?
A lot of energy there, guys. I'm really glad that we were all really enjoying that session. Thank you for participating. We got a tie today, Iris. And the tie, congrats to both First Class Storage and Gary Peterson. You guys were blowing me out of here with all these comments. I loved it. Had a great time. And come back, okay? Make sure we come back.
Awesome. Well, we need a name from First Class Storage. Tell us who you are. Yeah. Put it in the comments in the chat. And please do send me an email, iris@thesboa.com. Use subject line SSU winner, and we'll make sure you get that Starbucks gift card. I think I already got one from Meg. We got her email, so we're going to be sending her one because she guessed that very first block this morning. So I want to thank everyone again for coming today. I know we just went over a little bit on our session. We're going to follow with, what do we have? We have a video from StorageDefender, and then we will have another video about our internal audits program, which I discussed a minute ago. So thanks everyone for joining us today. I hope we see you in Orlando, either live or virtual. This was a great show, tons of information, and watch your email for those follow-up links. Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hi, StorageDefender is the pioneer and leader of providing smart units as a service. We provide tenants peace of mind over their valuables and facilities, more profit per unit. Our smart unit service is very easy to install for our facilities. Tenants of all ages love it because there's no app required. StorageDefender sends a simple text message whenever it sees motion to the tenants. We offer our partners a pay-as-you-grow service model and a complete marketing package to help them maximize their revenue. Reach out to us. Thank you.
Here we go. In a world where brand experience is paramount, upholding your company's standards demands unwavering consistency in every location. At the SBOA, we understand the critical role consistency plays in driving your business's success. That is why we joined forces with MSI to introduce a revolutionary internal audit program tailored to meet the specific needs of your organization. Our game-changing audit program leverages cutting-edge technology and expert insight to bring you unparalleled accuracy and reliability. We know that success in this competitive environment is paved with adherence to operational requirements, and every company has its own standards along with state and local regulations to adhere to. So we've made our internal audit system completely customizable, all in a user-friendly app. The app enables on-site agents to collect real-time data and insights from their respective locations. This feature ensures that information is up to date and allows for quick responses to any issues or challenges that could arise. Our internal audit program also has advanced photo and video reporting capabilities. These visual reporting tools allow leadership to visualize non-compliant sites and gain a comprehensive understanding of the issues, with specific examples for clear context, which enhances communication and leads to faster resolutions. And it can be done with just a few clicks and the snap of a photo or quick video. And our program provides an in-depth understanding of each store's performance and challenges. This feature allows for a comprehensive assessment of how well each location adheres to operational requirements and brand standards, helping to identify areas for improvement. Are you ready to take your self-storage business to the next level? Explore our comprehensive suite of services, including internal audit programs, mystery shopping, and unlock your full potential. Contact us today to embark on a journey of excellence and success. 248-254-9000.